right, so I think we can begin now. Hi, everybody. So it's been a while since I've done a few weeks since I've done one of these. So thank you so much for joining me this morning, although it's not morning anymore, it's the afternoon. It's 12 o'clock where I am. So before we begin, let's take one deep breath together. Wow, that felt pretty good. What a week. What a week. Or what a year. What a few months. Before we begin, we're going to take this breath. We come together, we come to this text carrying a lot. So we're in the Torah portion, Tetzaveh. And this week, and the week we've had, the news we've absorbed, the conversations that went well and the ones that didn't. So we're carrying a lot. Think about the week we've had, the news we've absorbed, the conversations that we've had, the ones that went well and the ones that maybe didn't. As we enter this learning, may we set down what we can, just for a few minutes, and bring our full attention to an ancient text that somehow keeps knowing what we need. So, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Baruch atah Adonai Melamed Torah Le'amo Yisrael. Blessed are you who teaches Torah to the people. So, good afternoon, my friends. This week's Torah portion is Tetzaveh, and I wanted to sit with two images that feel incredibly relevant right now. The first is the Ner Tamid, the eternal light. The Torah says, "You shall command the Israelites to bring you pure oil beaten for lighting, and to kindle a lamp regularly." The light is called eternal, and yet it requires oil. It requires people. It requires tending. That alone feels like a teaching for this moment, because I don't know about you, but many people I speak to right now are tired. Tired of the headlines, tired of fractured conversations in Jewish spaces, tired of political chaos, tired of the ways anti Semitism and racism and dehumanization seem to circulate so easily. It can feel like everything is flickering. And yet the Torah does not say God will keep the light burning. The Torah says bring oil. The Ner Tamid burns because the community participates in sustaining it. Not because one leader is charismatic enough, not because one statement fixes everything, not because we win an argument alone. The light burns because people show up with what they have. And here's what I love about this image. The Torah does not ask everyone to bring a bonfire. It asks for oil. It only asks for oil. A small, steady offering. The invitation is simpler than that. What is the oil you can bring? A conversation that is thoughtful instead of reactive. A donation that sustains organizing work, a word of encouragement, a refusal to dehumanize someone even when it would be easy. The light does not stay lit on its own, and neither does hope. Thinking about Jesse Jackson and the iconic phrase, his phrase, keep hope alive. Um, so we need hope. Uh, and Tetzaveh gives us another image, the priestly garments. They are described as being made lekavod u'tilferet, for honor and for beauty. Why does the Torah care about clothing? Why so much detail? Because dignity matters. Because how we clothe someone shapes how we stand in the world. The priest doesn't dress because of ego or isn't dressed for ego. They are dressed so that sacred service is surrounded by kavod, by honor. And I can't help but think about how different this feels from the tone of so much public discourse right now. We live in a moment when language strips people. Immigrants reduced to caricatures, Jews flattened into tropes, political opponents described as less than human, entire communities talked about as problems to be managed instead of people to be honored. Tetzaveh teaches something countercultural. Holiness requires dignity. Sacred community is built not by tending the light, but by clothing one another in kavod, clothing one another in dignity. Sacred community is built by clothing one another in dignity. When we strip one another dignity, the sanctuary fractures. When we refuse to participate in humiliation, we become tailors of holiness. When we refuse to participate in humiliation, we become tailors of holiness. Think about that. You may not be a priest in the Mishkan, in the holy space, the holy tabernacle, but you can decide how you speak about people. You can decide whether your words clothe or expose, whether your presence tends the light or scatters it. The Ner Tamid, because we bring oil, the sanctuary stands because we protect dignity. Tetzaveh doesn't ask us to wait until we feel ready. It assumes that we will be tired, and it assumes the wilderness is hard. And it says, anyway, tend the lamp, craft the garments, the work continues. And here's the hopeful part. The Torah assumes we are capable of all of this. It assumes we can bring the oil. It assumes we can create clothing for honor and dignity, for honor and beauty. It assumes that even in a wilderness, especially in the wilderness, we can build a sanctuary where light burns steadily and people stand clothed in dignity. Remember, to build the Mishkan, to build the holy sanctuary, the tabernacle, it required all of our gifts. All of our gifts built the Mishkan. So maybe the question for us this week are simple. Maybe the questions for us this week are simple. What is the oil you are able to bring right now? And who can you clothe in kavod? Who can you clothe in dignity or honor? Who needs to be spoken about with more care? Who needs to be seen not as a symbol, but as a human being? We cannot control the entire wilderness, but we can tend the lamp in our corner of it. We can choose honor. We can choose honor over humiliation. We can choose steady light over dramatic flame. And if enough of us do that, if enough of us bring oil and sew garments of dignity, the sanctuary holds. And the sanctuary holds because it's been tended to. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be tended to. So phone's ringing. I'm almost done. So may we go from this learning with oil in our hands and kavod in our hearts. May we be the ones who show up, not perfectly, not without exhaustion, but steadily. May we be the ones who show up steadily to keep the light burning in the places we inhabit. May our words clothe rather than expose, honor rather than diminish. May we recognize the sanctuary builders around us and call them by name. And when we are too tired to bring much, may we trust that a small, steady offering is enough. Because it always has been. A small, steady offering has always been enough. Hazak, hazak, v'nit hazak. Hazek. Hazak, hazak, v'nit hazek. Be strong, and may we be strengthened. Shabbat shalom, my friends. Have a great weekend.